I'm Andrei Badayos, and thank you for allowing me to share my story on how God made His wonders. My friends would call me Dre or Andre. I am married to a beautiful and loving wife, Almira. I should say that I come from a fine family. I only have one sibling, a brother, and with both parents working and owning a family business. At a very young age, I was introduced to swimming, and I fell in love with the sport. And as early as grade 5, I was invited to join an international swimming competition in Hong Kong. And after that, I trained early in the morning and after class till night, Monday to Saturday. And on Sundays, like any other Catholic family would do, we would go to church. My life was all about swimming, day in and day out. I joined lots and lots of competitions and won many medals. And when I reached high school, I got into a car accident, which fractured my right leg. And my surgeon told me that I could no longer swim for 2 years. It disheartened me. I felt so sad. There's nothing I can do. Now going back to school, my friends would ask me out after classes that if we could chill. And it was there that I've learned my first smoke and I've tried my first alcohol. But I like it so much that even on lunch break we go out and drink. And most of the time we cut class to drink. At some point I enjoyed my life without swimming anymore. I tried many things, like I went into car racing, gun firing, and all that. And one day I asked a close friend of mine to teach me to use drugs. He was already using when I asked him. And he said no, because it would ruin me. But I insisted. So it was then I started my first use. It was once a week. And then it became twice a week. And then every day. Twice a day and as many as I can in a day. My appearance changed. But when I look at the mirror, I feel like I am so good looking. But when people sees me, I look so thin and so dry. After using, we usually go out and drink. And one day, while drinking, a cousin of mine was stuck in this thing for several hours. And he was enjoying. I asked him, "What are you playing?" He said, "It's video carrera." And I asked him, "Can you teach me?" And for the first time, I won. From then on, I got hooked with it. And when we don't have money to buy alcohol or drugs, we would lay down the street for the bus to stop and ask the driver for some cash, or ask him for a lighter to light our cigarette. I don't go home for several days. I just use and gamble. If no more money, I'd stay in the drug den and wait for anybody I know and ask for spare change, or if he would allow me to go and use. And on Sundays, I dress up well. But when I lost everything because of drugs and gambling, and this happens all the time, I go home wearing a stolen shirt and shorts and wearing someone else's slippers. Left my clothes and shoes as an exchange to buy drugs. There was this time during a fiesta celebration in our city. We were so drunk and high that we wanted to use again. We have no more money, but a friend got something from his father's vault. And we bought drugs, and all of us used the drugs in my room. Since my parents are out, we started using and had a great time. And suddenly, someone was knocking on the door. It was my mom and dad. The smoke was so thick that my lola, not knowing that she was in the house, thought there's fire in my room, so called up my parents. I got rehabilitated for the first time, and I said to myself that I will just rest here for 6 months and try not to use when I get out. It's a good place to rest since I have many troubles with different people outside. When I got out, I stayed clean for 4 months. Then I started using again. and same things happened, and I was getting worse. Then I get rehabilitated again. Now it's for a year. I could remember inside, we started praying the rosary with three of my friends. And when I got out from the facility, my mom and I were invited to join a Walking with Jesus seminar by the Oasis of Love Cebu. I was inspired and motivated. I joined the outreach ministry, learned and studied the liturgy and the liturgy of music, and became a lay liturgist for the bishop. But I relapsed. I even brought my wife, my girlfriend at the time, to dangerous places and left her inside the car for hours while I was using. It was getting worse every time. There was a time that I didn't went home straight for 5 or 6 months and stayed and lived in the drug den place. I could remember the heat of the morning sun in my face since my bed is like 2 inches away from the roof. And I would take a bath along the street. Sometimes I have nothing to eat. I remember that time that I was really hooked with drugs. And I remember that every Tuesday and Thursdays and Saturdays, my mom would pass by that street because she's a lector in our cathedral. And I would see her pass by during those days. And I wanted to raise my hand and ask for help, but I really couldn't. It's very hard for me to raise my hand and call her and call upon her and say, "Mom, please stop. I want to go home." I felt like my feet and my body is stuck in the ground, that I could not raise my hand and call out to my mom. And I said to myself, well, this is gonna be my life. I'll just live here and do drugs and that's it. And I already accepted it. But not God. He found a way to put me in a rehab center, and he had introduced me to the 12 Steps program that led me back to him, back to the Oasis of Love community. Now, when I have known the Lord deeper through Oasis of Love, it helped me become a better version of myself. Yes, I admit that I am powerless over my drug use, and I made a decision to stop and surrender everything, my will and my life, to God. And He gave me serenity, strength, and hope. Now, me and my wife, Almira, had made a decision also to serve God with everything we've got. We serve His altar as lectors. We also go with the Oasis of Love outreach team in places where we are needed to bring back more souls to Him. My wife and I, with the blessing of our head servant, Nonito Tatay Dodong Limchua, also started the Oasis of Love Recovery Mission Ministry, a ministry to reach out to those people who are still suffering from the disease of addiction and wants to recover, and carry God's message of hope and love to them. This ministry also meets regularly to deepen our relationship with God and our Blessed Mother Mary. Being with the Lord always in the holy sacrifice of the Mass, doing adoration in the Blessed Sacrament, reading the Holy Scriptures, praying the Holy Rosary, gives me strength. By His mercy and grace, I am now 5 years drug-free and alcohol-free, and 14 months nicotine-free. I entrust my life to God and pray that He will guide me in everything I do for His mission. Yes, challenges are still present, but these challenges I see and encounter are molding me to be close to Him. That's what He wants. They say that God will become who you wanted Him to be, a protector to shield us from any harm and danger, a provider. He will sustain us in anything and in everything. All this and more, as long as we continue to be in a state of grace. I am thankful to God, the Holy Trinity, and to our dear Blessed Mother Mary for giving me the grace, though unworthy as I am, to be with Him and allowing me to do His mission. I would also like to thank my mom and dad and my brother for their prayers and their love. The Oasis of Love Community Cebu, to our Tatay Dodong and Nanay Dayan, and the whole community who never counts how many times I fall, but supported me to get back on my feet and keep moving. To my wife, Almira, who has stayed and endured with the grace of God. She's here with me, not only for good times, but through the darkest days of my life. To all of you who are listening, thank you. I pray that you continue to open your hearts to God and allow Him to do wonders in your life. Let me quote from Jeremiah 29 verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. To end, allow me to share this clip on how God made His wonders.
Ako day si Lauren day, sa ka-addict. Ako sa una, grabe kay kong manggamitay og nga sa ginadiling drugas nga sa una nga sa usa ka adlaw katulo yung magamit sa una. Kama na nalikoy ko sa amo ang baryo. Nalikoy ko nga sa sige gamit na ko anang ginadiling nga droga. Ang gitistingan og pagdaob ang among balay. Sa una, daob nang hagis. Kanang sa una gihiktan ko kay wala ko kasabot sa akong gibati nga sige gamit. Salamat ko nga naginahinay kog biya nga naay labang program o Oasis of Love o kanang recovery ministry. Salamat ko nila nga nakahinahinay kog biya. Nahibong lang ko nga naabtan lang kog 5 ka buwan na siya ako nga nakabiya jud ko ng bisyuha. Karon nga salamat ko sa Ginoo nga nakabiya jud ko na. Salamat ko sa nagsuporta sa amo nga nakabiya mi o maura to. Salamat.
Ako dahil si Aida Reyes, usa ka adik nung panahon, pero sa mga karon dire ko na recover sa recovery, naanak ko ron sa recovery mission.
Ako dahil si Deacon, usa ko ka drug addict sa una din. Pag year 2012 kay nakuan ko sa prisuhan din. Pag year 2018 kay gitiyan kong chance sa Ginoo nga makagawas. Pag kuan sa labang diri na ko natugkad ug unsa day pasabot sa recovery. Then pasalamat ko sa labang sa Oasis of Love ug sa CSWS nga mo ay nagdumaan ni nga nakat-on ko og unsa day ay ang angay buhaton para ma-aware ka sa mga bisyo nga dili ka matintal dayon. Salamat sa Ginoo nga iya kong gitigaan og chance nga magbag-o sa akong kinabuhi ko ug sa akong pamilya nga magmalipayon. Maran ha.
Ako dahil si Rogelio, usa ka adik kaniadto. Pero karon nagbag-o na tungod sa recovery mission. Dako kay nakatabang kanako kay sa akong sigig tambong niini. Adyoy akong na sinati ug akong nakuan sa kagalingon na adyoy nakausab sa ako baka nalambigit sa una sa drugas. Una dako ko pasalamat niining dramaha tungod sa recovery mission.
Hi, my name is Dude Singson and usa ko ka-addict sa una. Namligya akong drugs. Then napunta ako sa prisuhan. Napunta ako ani sa recovery missionary. Nausab sa dakong kinabuhi. Dagan sa kinabuhi. Nakat-on ko og relasyon sa Ginoo. O nana ko'y gibarugan as amahan sa akong mga anak. And nausab na akong kinabuhi sa recovery mission. Daghang salamat.
Ako si Lucia Adi, karon nagbutan ako, karon ako sa labang, nakagraduate na ko, wala ako mag-adik-adik, wala ako sa recovery mission. Maura?
Ako day si Rinelda, taga Malibo, ay taga Drira, Mandawi. Ako day usa ka adik sa una, tapos kanang tungod sa pagka-adik-adik nako, nakasud ko og bar, usa ko kakuan, sex worker sa una. Tapos pagka kuan, karon na kanang nalipay ko na gikuha ko sa kining missionaries karon kay karon na okay na akong kinabuhi ug murag nindot akong kuan sa Ginoo. Nagpasalamat kay ko nilagdako. Tapos nindot na akong kinabuhi karon. Mao na akong master. Salamat.
Ako si Joel. Sa una, adik ko. Ang akong asawa di na may magtingog. Tungkol sa akong pag-adik karon, ni balik ko relasyon sa Ginoo. Nindot na kaya mong kinabuhi. Og ni dangop ko sa recovery missionary. Og mora sa to.
Mayang gabi, ako si Michelle, usa ka adik. Pag sa una nga active kaayo ko sa ako ang addiction, kaming duha sa ako ang bana, puros mi manggamit. Pero sa 5 years nga amo ang pagpamuyo, bati jud kaayo ang mga panghitabo, og dako kaayong mahay nga nagbuwag jud ni. Pero karon ako ang giuna ang akong kaugalingon nga nangninguha jud ko nga mausab ang dagan sa akong kinabuhi, og dako kay kong pasalamat aning recovery mission kay mao ni ang nakatabang nako nga hantud karon maligo ang ako ang recovery.
Hi, ako si Alcris, usa ka former addict, and daghan ko mga nabuhat sad nga mga bati nga nabuhat nga dili na ko ikaw proud. Pero karon pasalamat ko nga naagihapon ang Ginoo wa og gipabayaan, and naa ko karon sa recovery mission.
Ako si Bog Sumiga, recovering addict. 14 years ko nga ga-adik-adik, naguba tanan akong paglaom, pamilya, akong anak talayo nako. Unya kahon nga nag-recover ko, na hinahinag balik ang pagsalig sa akong pamilya. 4 years na ko nga wa na ko ning gamit. Giundangan ako tanan, pagsuyop, panigirlyo, ug pag-inom. Unya kahon na ako sa government, intabang ko sama nako nga adik nga mo'y gahatag na kong kalig-on o kalinaw nga dili na pare sa una nga nagkagamay akong kalibutan. Karon nga ning nag-recover ko, ang mga grasya nga gihatag sa Ginoo, wala na ko damha nga grabe dili mabaylo og kwarta.
Ako si Vincent sa ka-addict. 21 ka tuig nag-addict noon, then karon tungod sa gugmaw kaloy sa Dios, nag-recover ko, nagtabang na ko karon sa mga naglisod sa pag-recover sa addiction niya. Karon ako sa Recovery Mission Ministry.
Good evening, my name is Frank. I'm a recovering addict and I am supporting the Recovery Mission. Thank you.